Hey everyone, welcome back. We're diving into something pretty intense this time. We're looking at M, Fritz Lang's 1931 masterpiece. And we've got excerpts focusing on the horror elements, and it's interesting because you don't automatically think horror when you hear about a film about a child murderer.
Yeah, it's not your typical slasher flick, right? But M is considered a landmark in psychological horror, and I think that's what makes it so fascinating.
Definitely. It's just as unsettling and influential today as it was back then. What do you think it is about this film that makes it so powerful decades later?
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with the atmosphere of paranoia that Lang creates. The city itself almost becomes a character, like it's haunted by this fear.
Oh yeah, I see what you mean.
And Lang does this so brilliantly using these techniques from German Expressionism.
I actually saw that term pop up in one of the articles.
Right?
Could you maybe break that down for those of us who aren't, film historians? Like,
Mm.
what exactly does that mean?
Of course. So when you think of German Expressionism, think of like distorted cityscapes, really stark contrast between light and shadow, almost like a dreamlike quality.
Oh, okay. I see.
Yeah, and Lang uses these visuals to really get under your skin. You've got these looming shadows everywhere, and you hear these off-screen sounds, but you never actually see the source of the threat.
That's so creepy.
Right, and it really preys on that, like, primal fear of the unknown that we all have.
Yeah. That actually makes me think about the context of Germany in the early 1930s. Like, wasn't that a time of just immense social and political upheaval?
Oh, absolutely.
So do you think that those anxieties of the time, could they be reflected in the film's visual style?
Right, totally, yeah. Germany was dealing with the aftermath of World War I, economic depression, and the rise of these extremist ideologies. So there was this feeling of uncertainty and fear that was just pervasive.
It's like it's in the air.
Exactly, and you see that reflected in M. For example, there's this one really chilling scene where children are playing a game about the murderer. It's a reminder of how deeply the fear had seeped into everyday life. Like nobody felt safe.
Wow. That sends chills down my spine just thinking about it.
Yeah, it's powerful stuff.
So we have this like palpable sense of dread,
Yeah.
you know. But what I find even more unsettling is that M doesn't rely on a supernatural monster for its horror. It's not like a Dracula or Frankenstein.
Exactly. The source of the horror is an actual human being, and he's played with this chilling intensity by Peter Lorre. He really embodies that classic, monstrous outsider trope that you find in a lot of Gothic literature.
Oh, yeah.
But there's a twist, right? Instead of a vampire or some kind of creature, he's just a deeply disturbed individual, and I think that's what makes it so terrifying. It's a reflection of the darkness that can reside within seemingly ordinary people.
It's that fear that it could be anyone. And the film really forces us to confront that darkness, especially in the climax. I mean, a kangaroo court of criminals putting the murderer on trial. That's a pretty bold move.
It's definitely not something you see every day. It's like Lang is turning the whole concept of justice on its head.
It really makes you think.
Yeah, he forces the audience to ask, who are the real monsters? Is it the criminals who are trying to establish their own kind of twisted order? Or is it the individual who committed these horrific acts?
That's like he's blurring the lines.
Totally. And he's exploring these really complex themes of guilt, justice, and societal decay, which are all hallmarks of Gothic horror.
When you put it that way, it's almost like the film is holding a mirror up to society, exposing that potential for darkness that exists within all of us.
It's a powerful message, and you can definitely see how M has influenced later films like Psycho or Say Seven.
Yeah.
They also delve into the minds of killers and explore the anxieties of their times. And I think that's what makes M so timeless. It's not just about the jump scares or the gore. It's about the psychological underpinnings of fear and violence.
And how they connect to these larger societal issues.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
M is a film that stays with you long after the credits roll. It prompts you to think about those monsters both within ourselves and in the world around us.
That's a powerful takeaway. So for everyone listening, M is more than just a crime thriller. It's this chilling exploration of the human psyche and the dark undercurrents of society. And it leaves us with a question. How might the themes of paranoia and mob justice in M resonate with our own anxieties today? That's something to think about.